Welcome back to State of Decay 2 and the Lion's Share. The reason why I'm playing the Lion's Share right now is because Update 31 just dropped, and I'm here to prepare for the official live stream about Update 31, which means dressing up all my people in the brand new outfits, and also getting a little bit of fuel, because I don't want to be out of fuel when I'm running around and driving cars during the official live stream. So we got a couple of objectives today. But yeah, so Update 31 is basically just a Halloween update. We've added in, we've done one bug fix, which is fixing the floaty backpacks. And then everything else is just adding outfits into the game to celebrate Halloween. We don't have any, like, really elaborate new Halloween outfits, but we do have some outfits that I think, people will love, and that we've got at least one item that people have been requesting for a really long time. So let's start with the outfits. Let's have a look at my community. So actually, it's kind of funny. I think that a lot of them are actually still wearing the masks and things from the last time we did one of these updates. But I kind of want to start over a little bit, specifically to sort of make sure that I'm putting the right stuff on the right people. Because let's see, this is my metal worker. My auto mechanic, Fraser. So I feel like Fraser is the one who should probably be dressed up as the cannibal mechanic. However, you'll see in Update 31, we don't just have the singed version of the cannibal mechanic. We've also got just a regular old welder's mask that does not have magical embers that just sit there forever. So I think I'll put her in this. And then we've also got, as an outfit here, we've got mechanic coveralls. Similarly, not only do we have the original Bronto gas set, and of course the glowing, shiny version, but we've got the new wheel lock tires set. And so now you can sort of dress a character in a little bit more of a neutral mechanics outfit without feeling like you have to go all Halloween-y on it. So so Fanahoon is in my chat saying that they've got Update 31 installed, but for some reason they're not seeing the new outfits in the game. That's odd, because I definitely am seeing them here. Are you playing on the Xbox? Is there a chance? I mean, I assume the game gets kicked out of Quick Resume when you update it, right? And so normally if somebody says that they're not getting content, like if they're not getting the bounty broker stuff, usually I say, oh, you probably have the game on Quick Resume and you need to formally quit and come back. But if you updated the game, I'm pretty sure that kicks it out of Quick Resume, because it's just a whole new executable, basically. So I don't know what could be causing your problem, Fanahoon, because this stuff is definitely in here for me. So those coveralls, those are some of the first things we've added. What else do we have here? I've got to check my notes to make sure I'm trying to grab the right stuff. So we've got a campaign hat. What is that? What is that called? Is it up here under campaign hat? There we go, campaign hat. Wait, no, I'm reading the wrong list. The campaign hat. We've got a new Trumbull County dress blue campaign hat, but that is one of the ones in loot. I'm looking at the wrong list here. So the campaign hat is what. So basically, we've got 5 new outfits that are in loot, which I do not have yet. In fact, we're going to spend some time on the official live stream trying to go and get some of those if we can. We're just going to search as many houses as we can and see if that happens. Though this particular one says that it's in containers in farms and campgrounds. So we'll have to look in different places for this one. So yeah, the campaign hat is not on the list of things that I should be showing you right now. The Air Snow White aviator helmet is one. Oh, the gray-green boonie hat. Hey, let's have a look. Let's see if we've got a character with a nice military background. This guy, he's a glazier, comptroller, dead zone runner. Oh, and a red talent contractor. That might be a good one to do. Yeah, let's go with Ritana here. So Ritana is going to get our boonie hat. So people have been asking for ages if we could get more boonie hats, because right now, prior to Update 31, this Arctic boonie hat is the only boonie hat in the game, and that's a very specific kind of camouflage. And so now we've got a boonie hat that's got a little bit more of like the classic camouflage look. And let's see if we can get an outfit on her that looks good with that. I don't know if any of our tactical uniforms actually look like they're the right color for this one. Yeah, that's... Yeah, I don't think I can actually match it with the perfect tactical uniform. But that's okay, because right now, I mean, this is the boonie hat that we're adding right this minute, but we might have a few more materials waiting in the wings for later release. So I'm sure later on we'll be able to make all of this work just right together. Because I think these two are probably the closest, but the hat has got a little bit more green in it, while this is just more of a solid brown. So maybe that'll be good enough for right now. And actually, one thing I should do, because I think that this camouflage pattern on the hat, I think that is actually available on a backpack, and I'm not sure which backpack it is. So let's switch to Ratana and see if we can find the white flecked camo backpack. Yeah, Fanahoon is reminding me that that's which one it is. So let's look at our backpack situation. See what we got. We got blue and yellow, lots of blue and yellow. So many blue. We do not need this many blue and yellow. What the heck? Well, I'm so happy that we can salvage backpacks now, because blue and yellow is just, this is unnecessary, the amount of blue and yellow. No thank you. And we've got 2 burnt umber. So there's brown camouflage, but what I want is white flecked. White flecked, white flecked, white flecked. Okay, I'm falling off the grid, which is not helping. Bright green, bright green. What? White flecked camo. Large backpack with white flecked camouflage. Let's equip this on the character. Drop that red talon one. There we go. So, okay, let's get her outside in the sun where we can actually see what she's wearing. So, yeah, that's about as close as we're going to get right now to having her fully match. And over time, I think that situation might get even better. So there we go. Okay, so that's the boonie hat. So that is the second free outfit. So we've got the free mechanic, new mechanic coveralls, and new mechanic hat. We've also got the free new boonie hat. What else is free? The air show. Somebody in my notes accidentally said air snow white. It's not Snow White. It's air show white. Air show white aviator helmet. So let's grab her. So let's where is it? Is it up at the top? Aviator helmet? Yes, aviator helmet. There we go. Air show white. So that's lovely. She looks like she like a precog from a Minority Report. Let's get something that will look good with. I'm not sure. Let's see here. No, not that. Nope. Now, okay, we could put her in the Arctic camo, and that would look it. Okay, that's my favorite so far, but let's see what else we got here. That's kind of neat. That's not perfect. T-shirts, nah. Ugly sweaters, nah. I mean, I guess this is kind of an old-fashioned aviator helmet, so this old-fashioned... No, let's not do that. Rumpled jacket, no. Nope, shark hoodie covers it up. That's not going to be good. Ranch hand jacket. Puffy vests. I mean, I guess a puffy vest looks like it'll keep you warm up in the air. But none of them really match the white. Pirate jacket, definitely not. Outlaw vest, nope. Oilskin jackets, nah. Ninja, nope. Hoodies, no hoodies are going to be good. Nope. Why do I keep selecting hoodies? Ooh, leather jacket. Ooh, oh, okay. Yes, this is what we've got right here. That's the right look. I think we found it. All right, here we go. And then let's see. That's the okay. I think the final one that we want to show is the trucker hat. So let's go find somebody. This guy, or let's grab this guy. So let's get him the trucker hat. So we've got a new trucker hat that's got the Spiroil logo on it. So historically, you've had Little Piggy towing, cute little pink hat here, but now you got the Spiroil hat. So let's find him something to wear that looks like it goes with that kind of blue. I mean, we could give him some mechanic coveralls, but no. We got enough of those already. Oilskin jacket, no. Okay, this guy might be the one we want a puffy vest on, right? Orange and yeah, it's not quite the same blue, but it feels like he's trying. So yeah, let's go with that. That looks pretty good. And then okay, so now we've got all of the brand new stuff. We've got this, we got this stuff, and we got this stuff. Let's make sure that we've got all 3 of the masks. So we've got Dale over here with his hockey mask. We've got Scary Gary over here, but I got rid of the pumpkin. I also feel like I need to show the swine and bovine and the cannibal mechanic. Let's put Adam in the cannibal mechanic outfit just so that he can be right next to the comparison we're trying to make here. So we'll grab that. I did not know he had that hat on. Right. And then let's go with the welding helmet, the one that's got... There we go. So we can do that, like, direct comparison now between these 2 characters. And then we need to do the swine and bovine. Somebody's got to wear the swine and bovine, and I have nominated this character. So, swine and bovine apron. There she goes. We got swine and bovine. And then finally, I think that our leader is going to need to be the one who wears the mask. What's it called? Was it the jack-o'-lantern mask? Jack-o'-lantern mask. There it is. You know what? Her pirate outfit actually looks really good with the jack-o'-lantern mask. It kind of reminds me of the Headless Horseman. It's got like these orange tints on the shirt. That actually works really weirdly well. Okay, yeah, so we've got our team now of everybody showing off all of their gear. That's awesome, and I've been totally ignoring the chat, so let me just get into the chat real quick. Yeah, so La Coalición, you are correct in pointing out that we did not actually grab a camo pattern for this. We're just going to annoy everyone again, aren't we? We grabbed a camo pattern for this boonie hat that was Arctic, and it only went with one particular tactical outfit. It's the one you're least likely to want to wear in the zombie apocalypse. People are like, hey, can we get more camo to match our tactical outfits? And so we gave them the one camo that doesn't match the tactical outfits. I'm so sorry. I think we didn't think that through. Okay, so, like, I mean, this brown is actually in the hat. And this green kind of isn't, so yeah, this brown might actually be the better move, because it's just one particular brown. I'm letting the hat do all the work of having green and white in it, and then the backpack also is doing some of that work. So this is probably the best match for the hat we got, but we're gonna need to get some more materials in there. So yeah, La Coalición, I think I might need to point out, I'm gonna send a quick note to our marketing team. Hey, I think there's a typo in the patch notes. The aviator helmet is air show white, not air snow white. Smiley face. Okay. Yeah, I'm sure we can probably get that corrected, because, yeah, that is a little bit weird. I mean, you can see why somebody would make that mistake, right? You accidentally type snow in front of white, and then it just looks correct. And, like, why would you question it? Because it says Snow White. So what it sounds like, basically, air show white means it's a white cap you would wear in an air show. But Air Snow White suggests that there is an airline called Air Snow White that I guess, I don't know, they put, maybe it's a sedation airline where they put you to sleep on the airline and then they wake you with a kiss later on or something like that. They feed you an apple that's got anesthetic in it, and then it puts you to sleep. And then Prince Charming wakes you up later on. I don't know. They ship you in a glass tube. I'm trying to figure out what Air Snow White is. But anyway, yeah, so folks are asking, wait, when does this update launch? This update is already out. I'm playing in the retail version of the game right now. So if you go to your Xbox and you start State of Decay 2, it'll immediately prompt you like, hey, you need to download the update. And you'll download the update and you'll get into the game and you'll have all of these outfits and no more floaty backpacks. That's basically it. So originally we have been talking about Update 31 like it was going to be, oh, it's the next big update with the infestations and stuff like that. And that is kind of what we were thinking for a while before we realized, oh, wait a minute, we want to release some outfits so that the players don't have access to yet in October for Halloween. So that actually has to be Update 31. And you know what? A Halloween update being Update 31 is kind of so perfect that we had to do it. So yeah, so update 31 is just a small Halloween update. Update 32, possibly, unless we make another decision like this. Update 32 might be the infestation update. We'll just have to see how that goes. Not making any specific promises, because, you know, the things can surprise you sometimes. So there you go. Cog suggests that we should be able to put outfits on the tombstones representing dead characters as well. I mean, that would be a different set of outfits, definitely, because those models are pretty different from the character models. So Sir Nanobot asks, is there a way that you can make enclaves be certain types that sell certain items and rucksacks and offer certain bonuses like the mechanic, doctor, and the other ones do? So actually, to some degree, they sometimes kind of do have a little bit of a theme to them. But yeah, you know what? You're right. I think it's when they're spawned specifically for one of those missions that we really give them their own really strong theme. I think everyone else does typically draw from a more generic group. So honestly, that is something that I would have liked to do, is make all of the enclaves have much stronger themes internally. The problem is we actually kind of split up all the different features of an enclave that would give them their personality. Some of them are determined by the enclave's definition itself, and some of them are determined by missions. And it's split up in this weird way, and then so many of the missions are random. Like this Wandering Trader mission is a random mission. So many of them are random that we actually don't have a way to line them up so that, like, the correct missions and the correct, like, for instance, whatever final mission you go on that assigns the enclave benefit to an allied enclave, that mission has no idea what kind of enclave it is. And so there's no way for them to communicate with each other. And I think, you know, that was a decision that I was involved with. And at the time, we thought that we were going to have a lot more mission content in the game. And the enclaves were just going to be dominated by all of these missions. So we put a bunch of stuff into the mission scripting that would define the personality of an enclave. And then when reality hit, we had a lot less of those than we thought. We just had sort of the handful of themed enclaves. And then the rest of the enclaves were fairly vanilla. And if we had realized that was how the game was going to ship, we probably would have said, oh, let's put all of that stuff onto the enclaves. All of that decision-making onto the enclave's identity itself, not onto the missions, so that we can give the enclave stronger identities and have them, you know, sort of stand out from each other more. But since we didn't know that at the time, we split it up in a weird way that now it's actually, I almost said impossible. Nothing's impossible. It would be difficult and expensive to retrofit our enclaves to then contain that information all in one place. So I'm sorry about that. I was definitely involved in that decision, and I wish I'd had the foresight to realize that this setup is not actually what we were going to want in the end. Okay, so before I read more of the chat, we should probably actually figure out what we're doing right now, because we're not just going to stand around in the base. This community is pretty much out of fuel. And so let me send one of my more expendable characters, somebody who's not showing off brand new outfits. So let's take control of Dale here. So Dale's got old school outfits on him. He's got a pink gun, which is amazing. What else does he have? He's got some heals. He's got a little bit of fire for an emergency. Part of me wants to give him more fire, but part of me is like, we're short on fuel. Can we afford more fire? Probably not. Okay, one other thing I want to do while I'm down here, I do want to check out the bounty broker, because I just want to remind myself, make sure that I remember what is in the Fearsome footage pack, because that's probably going to come up too. I'm trying to remember where else there were gas stations. Was there a gas station in this area? Because I have not... Again, I'm just terrible at remembering where things are. I'm pretty sure there's got to be a gas station over here someplace, right? Or like over here? Somebody tell me where the best gas station to go, because I've already gotten gas over here. Somebody tell me where the best gas stations are. In the meantime, I'm going to do an official mission to find some fuel.
Let's find out if our neighbors know of some good scavenging spots.
So Cog says the top right of the left-hand river. Is that, you mean up here? Because I know I've already got this one. This one's already cleaned out, if this is the one you meant. If there's another gas station like up here somewhere. You said middle left? Like over here? Or middle left like here? That makes sense. Okay, so I'm going to... Okay, so they're telling me I can get some fuel here, here, or here. This might be something. So I'm going to follow the mission first, and then after the mission is done, we'll hit up the bounty broker, and then we'll look at other places like down here to find another gas station. Hey Nanobot, thanks for coming in here and asking your questions. And yeah, too bad you can't make it to the official State of Decay 2 stream, but I'm glad that you came in here to chat with us. Spade wants to know, did we fix the problem with Ray Santos' missions spawning vans all the time? Because he says he's trying to make the van spawns happen, and they're not happening for him. So I don't remember exactly. It was one particular mission with Ray. And so if you're on the wrong mission, then it won't be happening then. But it's entirely possible. Because I'm not on that team anymore, it's entirely possible they could have found some way to fix that problem. And I just don't know about it. So yeah, so I'm not really... They could very well have fixed it. I don't know if that van is necessarily an important part of that mission. I'm trying to remember, like, part of the problem with, like, spawning cars, it's difficult to tell if you've already spawned a car. Like, we don't really have the tools to just directly say, hey, have we spawned this car already? Don't spawn it again. But I could see somebody, for instance, just saying, hey, has this mission spawned before? If it has, don't spawn a new car. So I could totally see somebody using our mission scripting to overcome that problem. Okay, this is obviously not a gas station, but who knows? There could still be fuel here. Well, there's... Ah! What the... No, dang it. Stop it. Wait, do I have... Okay, I do not have aim step. I hear... Something's running at me. I can hear it. Okay. Anyway, wrench. We haven't gotten everything here yet. Where's the other... Oh, there's another container over here. Inside. There you are. Okay, this was not the place, obviously. So we're going to get back in our car. Hey, remember State of Decay 1, where ferals, if you aimed at their heads, they would immediately dodge to the side like they were dodging a car? That was really hard. I'm really glad... As a player, I'm really glad that that's not how it works in State of Decay 2. That I actually can line up headshots on ferals. So maybe there's some fuel at the auto shop that's down here. Maybe that's where they're sending me for the fuel. I didn't think that auto shops were a reliable source of fuel, but I guess they don't have to be for this mission to put some fuel there. Because I think this mission is only looking for a place where they're allowed to spawn fuel, not necessarily where it must spawn fuel. But I mean, I guess you could technically stick fuel anywhere. Any place that's got a... Oh, right. If the mission placed it, it's probably in the tall box. Hey there, tall box. Well, would you look at that? I've already got a rucksack on. I can't pick it up. Drop that off, and this, and this. Oh, and the wrench, and the wrench. Drop the wrench off. There we go. Cogs was making fun of me for looking for a rucksack with a rucksack on my back, but I got this rucksack while looking for a rucksack. I was, I picked it up in the last spot. It's not like I was just leaving home with a rucksack on my back looking for a rucksack. Undead Mark is asking me if I hit the fuel depot by the railroad tracks. No, mostly because I cannot remember which place that is. But that sounds great. That should definitely be on my list. Oh, is it are you talking about, like, the actual, like, train? There's, like, an actual train, right? Oh, wait. I got a hatchet, too. There's, like, an actual train that has got fuel in it, right? So let's go, now that we've completed that mission, and we've gotten at least one fuel rucksack, let's go just check up on the bounty broker, make sure that I remember what the prizes are in Fearsome Footage, the new bounty pack that launched in October. I've already messed with Fearsome Footage a little bit.
Do come in.
Okay, let's just hope those zombies don't see me. Okay, so let's remind ourselves here. So we've got the Juggernaut mask. So I actually had a problem today because I forgot which costumes were just free gifts and which costumes were associated with Fearsome Footage. And so I had a little panic attack in work Slack, like, wait a minute, did we announce all of the right stuff? Did we release all the right stuff? But yes, we actually did. The Juggernaut mask, the mechanic coveralls, the skeleton hoodie, the welding helmet, those are all part of Fearsome Footage. And so those aren't free gifts that just sort of drop with all the other Halloween stuff. You have to earn those. And similarly, there's a cricket bat inspired by Shaun of the Dead. There's Senor Pokey, which I believe is a reference to Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I didn't watch that show. 1911 Long Slide is reference to Terminator. The Uzi 9mm, was that Terminator as well? I'm trying to remember. Slasher Machete is just from all slasher movies. Spaz 12, I think that is Terminator. The Barbed Wire Bat is, of course, The Walking Dead. And the Chopper is a reference to, what is that, Predator? Okay, cool. So I have got a little refresher here. I don't think I've got a strong reason to change out any of my bounties, so we'll just leave those there. Malator says any of those are perfect for home defense. Okay, so down by the railroad track, that's like down south here, isn't it? Somewhere? I'm trying to remember, Mark, where this was. I'm gonna head west first because that was what Cogs recommended. That's what I said I was gonna do first. But then, yeah, I'll try to come back on the southerly route and see if I can find. It was like near the bridge fort, right? This fuel depot that we're talking about. In my head, it's near the bridge fort. Cog says I could easily name all of the locations for gas stations on the map. I'm sure you could. And it's funny that I can't, you know, but that's just kind of not the way my brain works. My brain is not the type, like, my brain is good at, like, synthesizing information into grand theories that can then be reconstructed. But my brain is not good at remembering volumes of information. Like, I'm not very good at remembering lists of things. Oh no, I didn't help. Okay. So, we're over here. Oh, you know what? There's the fire station. The fire station is a good... I think they got fuel at the fire station. Am I remembering right that they got fuel at the fire station? And then... Okay. I might have been misunderstanding Cogs. Cog says east of the bridge fort is where I can find that that other thing. Okay. Oh, he says south of the Tartan Mart in the middle bottom. Okay, so I think I'm just a little bit too far north. That's fine. Well, let's let's head over here. Let me just look at the fire station on the map. See what it says. It does often contain fuel and meds, so this is probably worthwhile. Let's head in here into the garage area, which is probably where the containers are that would contain fuel. Like, what's over here? What are you? You are a fuel can. You probably contain fuel. There we go. Now, I don't know if it's likely to have more than one. Rucksack of fuel, but it's got some useful stuff, definitely. You know what? I'm not going to push my luck. I don't have a lot of room in my trunk, so I'm not going to push my luck and just search a million other things that will make me feel bad if I don't pick them up, but that don't actually fit. All right, we've filled up the back of this. So let's head south. No, don't get on my... Oh, now I'm all Austin Powers in. Okay, so... Oh, there's a gun shop there. Some other time. Let's head over this way. You said south, so we're going south. Oh, so High Alliance is suggesting that it might be nice if our outfits had holsters for handguns, because see that is an interesting challenge. Because so right now, like many video games, you go through the roster of all the video games that have a character model with guns on them. It's really common to just attach your weapons mysteriously to the character's back rather than explaining it. Games that have extremely high production values will often actually try to justify like slinging the weapon or something like that, or having a holster for it. But you'll notice that those games that have those incredibly high production values, a lot of the time they also have a very small number of weapons, of different weapons in the game. And that helps a lot, because if you got a small number of different weapons, then you can come up with a custom solution for how you're going to holster or sling each of those weapons. And the problem that we're contending with in our game is the fact that we got such a sheer variety of weapons that if we decided to just add a holster to the player's belt, it would fit some pistols, but like coming up with a single holster that would look good with, you know, like a fancy automatic pistol with an extended magazine and a sawed-off shotgun and you know, a cowboy revolver, and you know, it's like there's a whole list of ands that I could come up with. And it would be really hard to come up with a single holster that would work with all of them, and that would look good with every outfit, because not every outfit really has a really good, you know, belt that you could attach that kind of thing to.
It's clear, but
And we couldn't, you know, we couldn't set it up really to work well with the animations if we like had, say, for instance, some thigh holsters and some hip holsters, because some outfits have belts, some don't, some have big hanging jackets that hang over your belt. That sort of, like, there's just so many different, like, mismatchy problems that we have to solve. If we had built all of our pants from the outset that all of them had to support a holster, and then built all of our guns up front that every gun had to fit into the holster that we designed, or that maybe we defined multiple holsters that could be swapped out, that fit on every outfit and that could be customized to match whatever gun they had, but kept that list very small and still had a much more constrained list of guns that all fit to our limited number of holsters, we could have made something like that work. But retrofitting that in now, after not setting it up that way, would be extremely expensive. That would be going through every outfit in a huge game and every gun in a huge game and trying to make that work. And so we're probably not going to do that. So sorry, but this is a thing. We have heard people complain about this many times. You were not the first person to raise this issue. And so when I say complain, sorry, I don't mean that. Sometimes people say complain in a pejorative way. I didn't mean that. I meant it just like raising a problem. We've heard that. And so I can't make any specific promises or anything, but we are aware of that as an issue. And that is something we'll probably keep in mind as we continue to develop the franchise. I doubt that this is going to get retrofitted into State of Decay 2. But raising concerns like this in an ongoing franchise means that we are at least capable of considering it for future stuff. So now I'm headed towards the place that Mark pointed out. And that Cogs zeroed in on. Cogs wants to know where my outposts are. Good question. I've completely forgotten. I don't have any in the west, though. I've only got the one Beds outpost, basically. I haven't really claimed a bunch of outposts here yet. I think I very recently moved to this map in a recent other episode. How big is this freaking map? Okay, there we go. Sorry. I just noticed that I was pointed in the wrong direction. I was like, man, how long am I going to be driving in the wrong direction before I head back up again? I'm just going off-road to avoid some zombies like you do. Oh, Cogs pointed out that I passed a station, that I wasn't paying attention and I missed a station. Yeah, he says it's no big deal. I appreciate Cogs you saying that something is no big deal, because that's not common. But yeah, I think I've got a lot of fuel already, and I'm probably about to grab even more, so we're probably gonna be fine. Okay, yeah. So the bridge fort is built on the rail bridge, and I think the railroad is what leads to the fuel, if I'm remembering right. I could be remembering wrong. Feel free to point out if I'm doing the wrong thing, or if I've missed it. Like it was kind of, it wasn't just further down the rail. It was like off the rails to the side somewhere, wasn't it? There we go. Okay, yeah. So Mark is pointing out that yes, I did in fact pass it. So let's head back again. It's like up on this hill or something, isn't it? Why are there so many zombies over there? Okay, whatever. Okay, he says drive down the tracks and cross the bridge. Okay, so it's not on the east side. Is it on the west side? Oh, that's right. Yeah, is it up past this rail bridge? Is that where it was? Aha, there we are. There's the fuel tanker. Okay. Yeah, I knew it was off on some spur that only kind of was kind of a one-way dead end. I just couldn't figure out where that was. So thank you, everyone, for your directions. Coalition says that he would be helping, except that he's trying not to die in a vigor encounter right now. That's fine. You go right ahead. Okay, I think we've got all the fuel we could possibly ask for. Well, not all of it. I mean, oh wait, I can't pick up the plague sample. That's fine. There is that one that Cog said I missed, but it's fine. It's fine. We're gonna be okay. So let's. Oh, you zombies made a bad decision. Well, one of you lucked out. Where is my house? My house is up there. I guess I don't know what the right. Where's the right direction to go? Maybe it's this way. There's no right direction, only just different degrees of wrong. Oh, Cogs is wondering if I have enough food. I think I have enough food in my... I've got 28 food right now, so I've got at least enough food in my storage to not threaten me during the live stream. And that's the thing, like, I just didn't want to run out of fuel in the live stream and have no backup fuel, just because that sounded like it could potentially grind the live stream to a halt, the official live stream to a halt, and I just didn't want that to happen. That's why I'm going after fuel. A more distant problem like that food, and I am totally in the wrong place, aren't I? How do I open? Yes, I missed the turn off. Ugh. This isn't just in the game. This is like me constantly in real life. Okay. This is not it either, but it'll work. So, this is the way I took down from that pile of containers, isn't it? Yeah, okay, yeah. This'll get me there. Sure are a lot of plague zombies out here. Somebody should do something about that. By the way, I apologize. Because I'm driving a car, I am not paying that much attention to the chat. I'm sure I'm missing a lot of interesting comments, so I'm just sorry in advance. I will try to, once we get home, I will try to go back over the comments and see what I missed. Ah! So many freaking zombies. Where is the right place to park? There we go. Alright, let's drop all this stuff off. Drop that off. And this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and this. And then everything that is not absolutely necessary. This, and this, and this, and this, and this, and this. Alright, so... Actually, let's grab one of these repair kits. And fix my door. The Vandito is a really good card to take out places because you can just carry everything you want. So... I want to get in a good shape and maybe use it for the stream.
Wasn't sure I'd see you all again.
Now we should figure out which character we actually want to play during the official live stream. So I want to play a character... I don't want to play Dale. I want to play a character who's wearing something fancy and new. Like, we could do Frasier. She's good for illustrating the way that the new outfit looks. I really like this guy's ensemble. She looks really cool though. maybe we'll go with her. Let's see what she's equipped with right now. Alright, so she's got the GSGW with a compensating suppressor. She's got the FDGB Shotgun. Sure, why not? And she could probably carry a slightly larger stack of this. And a slightly larger stack of that. Let's get her some snacks. And some fire, right? Do we actually have any fire? No, because we've been out of fuel. I've been avoiding crafting fire. But now that we have 16 fuel, I think I can actually afford to fire it up. So let's do it. Let's make some 9 fuel bombs. Let's make 9 fuel bombs. And she will carry a subset of those fuel bombs. Wait, where did they go? Is there something wrong with me? Oh, I needed to scroll up. Okay, I was like, where are the frickin' fuel bombs? Oh, I already had a bunch of them. I just didn't scroll up. I didn't even need to craft more. I had a lot. Fine. Okay, great. Well, she's all equipped now. So, oh, actually, you know, what we're going to be doing, I'll probably try to go after infested sites. Let's grab some more of this fire. I'm probably going after infested sites just because they're more fun than non-infested sites. And what I'll be doing is going mostly to houses, because houses contain... Actually, let's have a look at the other outfits that are not free. Not free, but like are not, you know, the ones that are in loot. So the ones that are in loot include the... let's see here. Which hats first? Wait, are any of them hats? Yes. Oh, the pink aviator helmet. Yes. So the Bleeding Heart aviator helmet... Surplus stores, gun stores, and retail shops. Okay, I know there's a gun store near one of those infestations. So we can try there if it's not already... Wait, if it's not already looted. Oh, cool. Okay, one of my infestations is actually at an Army Navy Outfitters. And I think this might also be a surplus store. So I think... Yeah, okay, that'll be a really good target for us. No guarantee it'll have the loot we're looking for. But, you know, whatever. We can at least talk about the process. Okay, that's not what I meant to do. Let's see what else we want to... Oh, why do I have these? Oh, this is what I've got equipped. That's right. Okay, I thought, do I have 2 favorites for no reason? Okay, there we go. And then let's look at... oh, there's also some pink mechanic coveralls. And those are garages, carports, gas stations. And I believe that's the same. That same would be true of the trucker hat. Oh wait, no, we already have the trucker hat. That's right. So that's the one we don't need to get. Oh, the pink. Okay, the pink Kraken hoodie. Wait, where? Oh, yeah. I think a lot of the ones that are in loot are actually outfits, not hats. The pink Kraken hoodie is in houses. Okay. The new shark hoodie, the blue shark hoodie. Oh wait, that's skeleton hoodie. Sorry, shark hoodie is also in houses. The campaign hat. That's the one I was looking for, not the trucker hat. The campaign hat. The Trumbull County Farms and Campgrounds. Okay. So, as far as the best places on the map to go right now, they'll be entertaining. This house might be a good one to hit, because it could contain the Kraken hoodie or the shark hoodie. This, on the other end of the map, this Army Navy Outfitters might be good to hit because it might contain the aviator helmet. And then farms and stuff. I don't know. Where are farms on this map? This isn't the farmiest map we have. Like, we got way farmier maps than this map. Maybe once I do those two, maybe I'll just go after other infestations, because infestations are fun. So maybe I'll start going after the Army Navy Outfitters, talking about how do I get the other aviator helmet with my aviator helmet wearing character. And then we'll head all the way over here, deal with this house, and then just deal with more infestations, and it'll be fine. And we'll be taking questions and talking to people. It'll be great. The Coalition asks, are these unlocked items forever? Yeah, so we have not introduced any new limited time unlockables this year. So usually our tradition on Halloween is to have a limited time unlockable outfit that is only available during Halloween. And we are taking those older Halloween outfits and making them available during limited time, but we're not adding any new limited time outfits. All the outfits that we've just unlocked and just thrown into your into your closet, they're all available forever. Brand new players who arrive a year from now will have those outfits in their closets. Okay, so Cogs is saying that farms are center south, and near the starter house. Okay, I'll keep that in mind if I need it. Oh yeah, so Bloodcop TW says, "Oh, very cool. You're a developer on State of Decay 3?" Yes, that is my job. I do work on State of Decay 3, which I can't talk about at all. But I'm also a spokesman for the company, and so whenever State of Decay 2 does an update, I also am like the host of the live streams where we talk about it. So that's what I'm doing today, is going through and talking about the latest update to State of Decay 2. Okay, so let me try to catch up a little bit more with the chat. Oh, and actually, I should switch away from the character that I'm playing, just so that she doesn't get tired. Let's switch to... Oh, we should absolutely switch to Steph, who is the character who's got the swine and bovine outfit, because it's the most ridiculous. And then I'm going to leave this running while we talk, so we can have a greater chance of it not being nighttime anymore when the official live stream starts. But yeah, let me scroll back a little bit and see. I'm sure that I've missed a ton of comments in the chat, so sorry about that. Let's see here. So, Nolale74 says, the Zombie Hunter Enclave and the Cannibal Enclave seem to have unique voice actors. Is that the reason we can't recruit them? Yes, absolutely. So, basically, we've got kind of two lists of lines that voice actors need to say. We've got one list of lines... Oh, that's not accurate. We've got one list of lines that the 14 playable characters need to be able to say. And so those 14 voice actors need to say this very long list of lines that every player character needs to be able to say. So anytime you get into a mission, if your character has dialogue, every single player character needs to have that dialogue in order for them to be able to play through that mission. And so because of that, those lists are very, very long. But if we wanted to have more than just 14 people in the game, we need 14 voices in the game. If we wanted to have more diversity than that, we needed to come up with some way to reduce the number of lines so we can cram more actors into the time and the money that we had. And also, I mean, I'm sure that has something to do, like the disk space footprint is probably affected by this stuff too. And so, yeah, so basically we came up with sort of a shorter list that non-player characters that you never have to play, a shorter list of lines for them to say, and then each of them has a little bit of room where we can give them unique lines that they can say. And so a lot of those missions, those like cannibal missions, and the other ones, what did you say? And the zombie hunters, right? The zombie trappers. They have unique lines that are only said by certain voices, and those voices are in those enclaves. So that's why, yeah, so you're absolutely right, Nolale. That's why you can't recruit those enclaves, because if you recruited them, that character would join your community, and then they would not be able to say half the lines that a player character needs to be able to say. And so you just run into, like, missing lines in dialogue all the time, and the game wouldn't look very good. So that's why we don't let you recruit them. Let's see here. So Every John says, I remember I wrote a positive review of State of Decay 1 for Xbox 360. Can't wait to purchase this sequel. Oh, that's cool. So the game has been out for a few years, but it is really fun when we run into somebody who has not yet played the game and sort of sees it for the first time and is getting intrigued by it at this stage in development. I had a really similar experience as a player of Vigor. Vigor has been out for just about as long as State of Decay 2, but I didn't play it until this year, and I'm sort of discovering it fresh and realizing what a cool game it was, and now I'm sort of regretting not having started it a long time ago. And so it's fun, like, sort of being on the receiving end of that kind of thing. So yeah, that's exciting, Every John. Okay, and I already answered Coalicion's questions about whether the unlockable items were forever. Every John is thinking about doing State of Decay 1 without guns as a challenge run. It's kind of funny, like, that game really did emphasize if you fire a gun, zombies will swarm you, and it's actually not a great idea to not to use guns unless you've got a suppressor. And actually, one of the main like motivations we had for making Lifeline was we wanted to make a version of State of Decay 2 where it was okay to fire guns, and so we deliberately made this version of State of Decay where your base is getting attacked frequently by scads of zombies, and the only way to keep them under control is to use guns and bombs and mines and stuff like that. And there's no stealth in that part of the game, and also similarly, like a lot of the places you go are fairly small. You know, the locations are fairly small, and you can sort of like wipe out the zombies there. It's not like you're sort of like out in the middle of a big city, like, you know, big city. By our standards, a big city like Marshall, just constantly being swarmed by zombies. You could like go into places, get into a gunfight, and then get on the highway and get out of there. And not feel like you just made an eternal problem for yourself. So yeah, Lifeline was there so that you could use guns more often because yeah, playing in melee is actually probably the smarter move. What else have I missed here? So Stive Estrichnina says, I bought State of Decay 2 a few days ago, and I'm having fun with the lethal zone, being tortured by the ferals. So yeah, I do not recommend that people start in the lethal zone. I mean, if you're that kind of player, go right ahead. You're not doing anything wrong. But yeah, those ferals with the bony plates covering their eyes, that are immune to the first headshot or two that you do. Yeah, they're hard. Ferals, you might not even realize that ferals at the lower difficulty levels don't have that, and you can actually take them out with a single headshot if your aim is good enough. So yeah, kudos to you for playing the game in the hardest difficulty right out of the gate. That's kind of a big deal. Undead Mark points out that he'd actually really love to be able to dress his characters in the zombie hunter outfits. You know what? That's a good I've actually got a list. Like when I left the State of Decay 2 team, I made a list of like, hey, by the way, here's you know, outfits and things that might be you know, a good idea to provide, and like the camouflage on the boonie hats, for instance, is one thing on the list. But the zombie hunter outfits, those people see those a lot, and are like, hey, I wish I could dress my characters in those outfits. And that might actually be yeah, that's a good idea. Thanks for bringing that up, Undead Mark. And see, oh, Airy Twitch showed up. Good to see you. And Lockenstein is here too. Glad to have you all here. Sorry I'm saying hi to you late. You made these comments ages ago, but... Oh, so Glitch Sensei wants to know if we'll ever add like a throwback map annotating feature. That's not high on our list. You certainly feel free to suggest that on the support.stateofdecay.com wish list. But I think that would be probably lower priority for us because we already put so much information that we just sort of like throw onto the map. I think it would be unlikely for us to put that into State of Decay 2 just because there's so many other things that probably would have a bigger impact on a wider range of players. But doing kind of a more throwbacky map, I mean, we haven't made all of our decisions on the next game yet, so I'll have to keep that in mind. No promises, ever, for things that having to do with sequels. But that's a good idea, just because, I mean, the thing, you know, the more work, and I think I've talked about this before, the more work we do to make the UX provide you with a lot of information, like that definitely feeds the information straight into your brain, but it also makes you less immersed in the world because you end up thinking on a meta level about that information and not trying to derive it from exploring the game yourself. And so I think you tend to sort of absorb it as like book learning instead of as experiential learning, and it makes you less immersed in the world. And so doing a map that actually does less of the work for you and makes you type in messages to yourself, that sort of thing. On one hand, it definitely makes the game less slick, you know, and it's less quick for the information to get into your brain. And so you can't play it as efficiently as you could if we were doing a lot of that work for you. But you could end up with a more, just sort of feeling more grounded in the world, more immersed in the world, the way you do in, say, like a Red Dead Redemption type game where they're really trying to make you do the work of living in this world. So yeah, so it's a trade-off, and it kind of depends on what the player is looking for out of a given experience. But it's an interesting thing to raise. So yeah, so I appreciate you sort of like bringing that up. Struggling Forecast says, I do enjoy the multiple endings that Lifeline has. I'm glad that you like that. That was actually... Lifeline was one of the early things that I designed on State of Decay. Like, a lot of the rest of the team was working on Moonrise, our game that got canceled. And I was one of the only people, just a handful of people that were working on State of Decay expansion packs. And so I had a lot... I've got a lot more of me in Lifeline than I have in a lot of the other things, a lot of the other games that we've done since, a lot of the other updates and things like that. So when people say nice things about Lifeline, it really makes me feel good. So thank you very much for coming in here and saying that. So Comswold asks, was there at any point the idea of collating all the maps into one big map? Yeah, so there were debates on the team about whether or not we should do one giant map that was just contiguous, or separate it out into smaller maps. And for me, it was my advocacy for supporting forever communities from the beginning that sort of like ended up it was the reason why I was pushing for there to be discrete maps, because what that does is it gives you a pattern you can follow where you're on one map and then you leave that map and go to a new map with your community, and that map is fresh and you explore it, and then you leave that map and go to a new map with your community again. And the thing that you're sort of avoiding there is sort of the weird fantasy breaking thing of Breakdown, where you kept leaving the map and then going to an identical map. If it's just one big map, then that's how it'll work. If you want to keep your community going forever, we either have to refresh the content of that map, which kind of violates the sense of, attrition being sort of like permanent, there being consequences to your actions, or you have to leave the map and then come back to the exact same map, which also feels weird. And so I liked the idea of breaking up the maps into these sort of different biomes, different types of weather, different styles. That's another thing. We could also just make the maps really much more like distinct from each other if they weren't one big contiguous map. And then we could let you sort of move from map to map and never quite lose that fantasy of my community is traveling from place to place. In each place, the consequences of my actions are permanent, and I'm leaving a permanent mark on that map as I go. Blood Cup says that they really like a lot of the lore that you can discover in, say, a game like Dishonored. Or, for me, my favorite game to discover lore in was Control. But they're saying they wish they had more of that in State of Decay. So we actually, it's kind of funny, people have uncovered this, that we actually experimented with having audio journals. When we did the Homecoming update, we were thinking of shipping it with a bunch of audio journals that you would sort of collect over time, kind of like the audio cassettes in Vigor and stuff like that. We ended up not doing it just because it would have been, it would have basically delayed that update for months for us to get the UX up and running, to actually be able to sort of collect and parse these things in a satisfying way. And so we ended up cutting that feature before release. The audio journals, like, people have found them and have actually released them on the internet. You can look them up on YouTube. So you can listen to them if you want to without having to collect them. But yeah, so that it's still in the game data someplace. We just never actually hooked it up so that players could find it. So Peroxicus says, if you want to release a version that's harder than Lethal, just re-release State of Decay 2's launch day version. That's interesting. I hadn't thought of it being more difficult back then, but I guess, a lot of the advancements that we've made over time have made the game easier to play. Though, I don't know if making it harder by making it worse is necessarily the route I'd want to go. Oh no, Coalition is about to throw a bunch of wish list ideas at me. Coalition, I actually have to go pretty soon. I can't just answer a bunch of wish list questions. Struggling Forecast asks if Breakdown was my idea. A lot of my ideas went into Breakdown, but no, I wouldn't say Breakdown was my idea. Breakdown was my assignment when I arrived. Basically, what the assignment was, we need to come up with... Players are getting to the end of State of Decay 1, and they are refusing to do the final mission because they want to play the game forever. Is there a way that we can offer them an expansion where they can play the game forever? And that was the assignment that came from Jeff Strain. Came from the top. And so doing something like Breakdown was the request. And and there were a lot of ideas on the team for how to do that. And one of the ideas was to have rules for refreshing the map, for like while you're spending time on the map, like places that you've been before, slowly get their loot back so you can just sort of stay on the map forever. And that was actually originally the idea. I was new on the team. I wasn't going to come up and like say, no, we're going to do this my way. I was just listening to people and like, okay, sure, let's do whatever people say. And I didn't really, I was just trying to sort of figure out where I fit in on the team. So I wasn't innovating at all at that point. And so I made a proposal that was for a model just like that. And I pitched it to Jeff Strain, and he was like, no, that doesn't work, because specifically there was sort of a pillar of the game in his mind as he understood it that was, your actions have consequences. You can't, if you scavenge a house and that loot's going to come back, then it doesn't feel like your actions have consequences. And so he was like, if we just respawn the loot, that's going to feel cheap. It's going to feel wrong. And players are going to feel the same sense of, choice and consequence. And I was like, oh, you're absolutely right. And so in that meeting, we resolved on let's do something that's more of a New Game Plus style model. And so it was at that point where I came back and was like, okay, now I know what we actually need to do. We followed a New Game Plus type model, and then you know, a lot of the other details about Breakdown, things like unlocking the heroes over time, the challenges, stuff like that. A lot of that stuff came from me, but it was only in the wake of the broader structure of the game being suggested by Jeff Strain. So I can't take credit for Breakdown, for the core idea behind Breakdown, because that did come from the boss. I ended up designing a lot of the details, and actually that's sort of, you know, what a game designer does. A lot of the time people think that what a game designer does is have ideas, is have the big ideas for a game. And they'll think like, well, I have big ideas for a game, I should be a game designer. But really what it comes down to, like, being a game designer day to day is much more about solving a lot of the detail problems, like taking the big picture ideas, which often come from someone else. So they're not going to be your idea. But taking those big picture ideas and then figuring out, well, how does that actually work? What are the nuts and bolts of that? How does that distill down into an actual moment-to-moment, detail-to-detail game design? And sometimes what you'll find out is someone will have a big idea that sounds good when they first say it, but when you get into the details, the idea falls apart. And so, you know, a lot of why you want to have an experienced game designer on your team, working on stuff like this, is because those big ideas, you know, being able to recognize very quickly, oh no, that's going to fall down once you get into the details. Being able to catch that quickly can save your team so much time and money. And so that's a lot of what. So even though, you know, Breakdown wasn't my idea. The idea of doing an infinite game mode was not my idea. The idea of doing a New Game Plus style game mode, not my idea. I still have a lot of investment and pride in the work that I did in Breakdown, because that wasn't the only thing that mattered to Breakdown. The details also mattered, and I was involved in the details. Let's see here. Okay, so I am going to have to go soon, so I'm not going to be able to catch up with all of the comments people have made. I really appreciate this, like, all of you engaging with this and, like, having all these things to say. I really appreciate it. Let's see here. Oh, so Coalition says, I would love to see Lifeline on State of Decay 3, and for it to have Daybreak-style unlockables. Like, depending on who you rescue, you unlock more items for the main game mode. Yeah, so there's so many things we could have done with our alternate game modes. I mean, when we made Heartland, we were committing to do an alternate game mode with its own rules, and there were, like, an infinite range of things we could have done. We did one particular one. We decided to sort of, like, focus in on trying to answer sort of, you know, a lot of people, one of the big complaints about State of Decay on release was that it just lacked a single player storyline. And so that's the thing we decided to answer with Heartland, was providing a single player storyline and, like, a sense that, you know, like, what your enemy is from the beginning, and you can, or from very early on anyway, and you can sort of, like, feel like you're really accomplishing something in the classic linear sense. And so that was what we decided to focus on. We could have done almost anything else. That was kind of our opportunity to a big new game mode, and that's what we did. I don't know if State of Decay 2 is ever really going to get to have, like, a big new game mode like that. I think the focus is going to be much more on sort of refining and augmenting the systems that are already in the game, and making the game as it stands, the current core game, better and better over time. Oh, so Bloodcup says I should highlight this. Is really complimenting sort of the details of how the character works. Yeah, so I think, like, a lot of our, I agree. We had a really good team, both early on and following up afterwards, because we've had different people working on the character movement on this game over time. You know, it was a very different team who started, and a very different team who did recent updates. But either way, we've got a lot of very good people who worked on sort of making the character feel good to run around, making the combat feel good. And so whenever somebody sort of notices that and appreciates it, it makes me happy, because I think that team really deserves a lot of positive attention. Oh my gosh, I scrolled down and there's still a ton more comments. I want to answer everything, but I really am going to have to go. I have to have lunch before my 2 o'clock meeting, and I haven't eaten, and I definitely don't want to do the official live stream on an empty stomach. Hippie Grenade wants to know if my hair's dyed. That's an easy question. Yes, my hair is dyed. This is not just like a trick of the lighting in the camera. I actually had... So this camera is weird about this color. In real life, this color looks like this color. It looks very similar to this color. It's only a hair off. For some reason, this particular camera emphasizes the red in this color in a way that other cameras don't even. In fact, let me see. I think if I switch to a different camera... No, maybe that... No, that's about the same. Which camera was it that's weird? Was it this one? Oh, this one makes it look... Okay, this is the one that's weird. This one makes it orange. That's just terribly wrong. But yeah, so I guess it does look more pink in real life. It looks more red on the camera here. But it is pink. It was a pink mohawk. We did it for charity. We were doing a charity, Red Cross charity drive. And I said, if people give this amount of money, I will get a pink mohawk. So I did. So now the pink mohawk has grown out, and I'm not immediately going back to a mohawk again. I'm going to have a more traditional hairstyle, but the pink is still there, and I kind of like it. So there you go. Oh, so when I was talking about game design being about all the details, Undead Mark pointed out that if you actually want to get a lot of real insight into the problems of like trying to be a game designer, he says you should Google the phrase "the door problem," and he's absolutely right. The door problem is basically, I'm not going to get into all the details of it, but basically it's the idea of like, opening a door. That's an easy thing that I do every day. It must be easy to put that into a game. And then whoever it was who sort of highlighted this in an article went through all of the questions you actually have to ask yourself about like what the door can collide with and stuff like that, where it's just like, no, actually making a door work is the most miserable thing you could possibly try to imagine. And while it's coders and artists who have to work out the dimensions of the door and how it works, a game designer has to make like a million different calls about how the door is supposed to work. And it has to be the right combination of them. And if you make one call in one place, it cascades and has effects in other places. And it's just, every part of game design can be like that. So yeah, that's totally worth looking up. Oh, holy crap. Wait, did we just get raided? Oh, no. Co-Listen is just telling me we should raid someone before we go. Yes, we will try to do that. That's true. So, okay, I think Peroxicus had asked a question that Ranithcord answered, and from Ranithcord's answer, it looks like, let's see here. Oh, okay, so Peroxicus wants to know if we ever answered the question about whether Maya, Marcus, or Ed all, like what happened to them after State of Decay 1. So we did make references to them, but they're vague references because, and Ranithcord answered this in the chat, because we basically didn't want to invalidate whatever your story was. If your playthrough of State of Decay 1 killed Marcus, we didn't want State of Decay 2 to say Marcus is alive, because then that says that your playthrough was wrong. And so that's why those characters didn't come back, and why we didn't say anything about them, was because we were deliberately trying to avoid undercutting that. And that was it was a priority we had at the original release of State of Decay 2. We've gone a little soft on that. I mean, we did bring back Heartland characters in State of Decay 2's Homecoming expansion on Trumbull Valley, even though they could have gotten killed. So we basically we realized, we were being really doctrinaire about it at first. And when a game is sort of just, it's a concept in your head, you can kind of have these like ivory tower ideas of like rules you want to make for yourself. And sometimes it's really good to sort of see those rules through all the way to the end. Sometimes you realize later on, like, that rule wasn't all that important. Why was I being weird? And so the Marcus, Maya, Ed thing, we probably could have done something with them, and it would have been fine. People would have forgiven us. But we just decided at the time that we really wanted, to lean into that consequences pillar. The idea that when you make decisions and they have consequences, they stick around. Okay, I really need to go. I'm hungry, and I've got a meeting coming up at 2, stream prep at 2:30, and this live stream at 3 o'clock. So, if you're watching me live, go to the State of Decay channel at 3 o'clock Pacific time, which is in an hour and a half from now, and you'll see our official announcement of Update 31 and our breakdown of what's in there, which is the same as what I just said here, only we'll have some trailers, and we'll have some discussion with Brant, the art director, and we'll have a bunch of screenshots. We've got more stuff. We'll also be announcing some contests and things, which you can go participate in. So there's a lot of good stuff. So definitely go to that live stream if you can. And for right now, I think we're going to wrap up this show. So there is a subscribe button for people watching later on YouTube. Here are some links, and I'll probably try to link the live stream I'm talking about here when it's available, and the next Lion's Share video is going to go there.